All right, welcome back. Welcome back, and we're live once more on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at Extreme 104 SVG. A little pressed for time, so we gotta make a couple overtakes. We can't stop by and buy no coffee or whatever, and tell Jimmy hello or what's not. We don't have time for that right about now. So we're gonna go straight into. We've been hearing about the possibility of VIncy Mas or any festival for that matter, but more specifically VIncy Mas happening in the metaverse. How possible is it? How is it gonna happen? Yes, how?
Well, actually, I would love to talk to the minister about this, on a public forum, to hear some of the logistics of what they have planned. Like I said in the first segment, right now, what we can work with now, the metaverse is really like digital experiences, and it's actually exciting to hear how forward thinking we are in terms of like VIncy Mas and kind of capitalizing off of what is this interest in the metaverse. And so
Do you want me to
actually,
call him for you? Do you want me to call him
well,
for you?
that would be great.
Excuse me, Carlos. Hey, it's not a drill. Miss John wants to talk to you about the metaverse. All right, you
I
can go
will
ahead. He heard you.
I would love to have a conversation with him. As I said, I had a space the other day and we were kind of discussing Carnival in the metaverse and what that could mean, what the future could be like. Even spoke to some people from Trinidad as well about the move, and they were quite excited that we are thinking in this way. But as I said,
So it's a
right
good
now,
thing.
the metaverse that we have is digital experiences. I'm curious to know how far it's gonna go. And we can like has been mentioned before, we could kind of capitalize on what is the metaverse and maybe selling some digital assets, attracting attention of people internationally.
So is it going to be like, well, you know how Carnival is, right? Because this is what
Mm-hmm.
people are seeing. They're going to have on the headset and they're going to be just whining in space, right? And they're gonna be seeing people in like costumes, and maybe
Mm.
in reality they're just there in the nighty, just sitting down. How do you suspect the experience will be like? What aspects of our Vinci Mas do you think can be transposed to the metaverse? Because you obviously can't be drinking in there. Well, I mean, you
Well,
could
it's
be,
up
but
to you.
so anything at all. Is it going to be like a village? Um, like what do you
So
think it's going to be like?
yeah, so as
Mhm.
you it's interesting. It could be, it could be anything from, like I said, the definition of metaverse is so fluid right now. It could be
Mhm.
anything from a set of digital experiences without virtual reality online, where you have some sort of identity and you move around a space. I'm not sure what's planned, but if I think about the future of what Vinci Mas in the metaverse could be, as you say, you could be wearing your headset. We could sell costumes, and I could see you and the costume that you bought in the metaverse virtually. Even share drinks, walk around, talk to people. If you're really curious about an experience like this, of course, it's not Carnival, but
Mhm.
Facebook has something right now on the Oculus platform called Venues, and
Mhm.
the idea is there. It's not it's still being developed. There's still a lot of bugs to sort out, a lot of logistics, as
Mhm.
with the metaverse in general. But the idea is, I walk around, and I've tried it before. I walk around, I hear people as they pass talking about, which event that they're gonna go to next. And yeah, the future is bright. But as for this year, I would love to hear what's being planned
Mhm.
exactly.
Do you think that it's possible to happen for this year? I mean, because the impression I'm getting is like a bit of work and some of it is still in the early stages. Do you think it's possible for 2022?
Yeah, that's a very good question. It really depends on the extent to which we plan to make this event immersive. Because the reason why I say so, and I kind of, as I said, preface this whole conversation with the fact that right now metaverse is so fluid. The reason why I say that is because if we think about the recent headlines with Barbados, Barbados has this embassy in the metaverse. It's actually a game. It's actually a platform called Decentraland, that they are referring to as the metaverse, let's say. And when I say they, I don't mean Barbados, I mean news sites and so forth. So maybe
Mhm.
for this year, I'm not sure what's planned. Like I said, I would love to speak to the minister. If they plan to have maybe rooms where people could access, because if I think about VR headset, I'm sure that it's gonna be costly to kind of equip everybody with it. A thought could be maybe, again, throwing this out there, to remove duty on headsets, to make things more accessible. I'm not sure what's planned. I'm curious to find out.
Mhm. Do you think that it's going to be expensive to invest in this?
It depends. It depends. Like I said, for some companies, they have events and they refer to it as a metaverse, and they save costs by not including virtual reality, because the virtual reality aspect will cost, money. Somebody has to develop the platform, and there's still a lot of work, as I said, lots of bugs,
Hmm.
in terms of digital spaces. So it really depends. It really depends on what's being planned. Is it a series of Facebook lives? Is it going to be something a bit more immersive? I'm really not sure. So
Okay. How do you think we can include as many people as possible to benefit from this, or a festival, a national festival? Because as it stands, VIncy Mas, a lot of people benefit from it, right? So you have the vendors on the side of the road who would have their little ice boxes selling drinks. You would have, especially for Kiddies Carnival, people walking around selling little trinkets for children, the snow cone vendor, the person who is selling the ice, the promoter, the driver, the taxi man. How do you think we can position ourselves so that all of these people, or if not most of them, could benefit from having a festival in the
mhm.
metaverse?
Well, first and foremost, I kind of want to bring things back a bit and remind everybody that the metaverse is on the internet. A lot of these
Mhm.
things are on the internet, and so accessibility means access to internet, affordable access to internet, getting online, having reliable internet as well. Because imagine you're in the middle of a dance and the internet cut out, wouldn't really be
Yeah,
the
like
best
you're
experience.
dancing on somebody and half of their body just disappears.
Wouldn't be the best experience. So in terms of accessibility, really, I'm a big proponent of stable internet and accessible and affordable internet for all Vincentians. It's really something I think we should be talking about alongside discussions of
Ah,
digital
that's
transformation and so
interesting.
forth.
That
Yeah,
is
we
very.
really, and that's a core part of it. And then, like I said, I mentioned before, I said it as a joke, but it could be a serious discussion.
Mhm.
These headsets, like I say, it is their duty on them. If somebody, heard about, they are inspired by hearing that VIncy Mas is going to be in the metaverse this year, and they want to order one of these, are we going to put duty on it, or are we going to open up the world for people to explore and try? And then you also mentioned, vendors and all these second order effects, I like to call them, or other people who benefit. Um,
Mhm.
to be honest, it really depends. As with everything, the transformation of the world, we tend to see roles change, right? So many years ago, somebody might have been working with a typewriter, transcribing things, and let's say digital took it over or computers took it over. Maybe they might, have a different role, let's say, to maybe fix or help with certain things digitally. It really depends. It can really become a wall in and of itself. And like I said, it's in such early stages that, just like we talked about the problems that could happen, also the
Mhm.
opportunities are yet to be unlocked. We could kind of fantasize, let's say, about some of the opportunities that we could have, but as time goes on, we will see more and more what opportunities like for everybody. But selling costumes as it stands is something that could happen right now, maybe as an NFT, who knows?
Hey, we get to doing something. I want to talk about, like, really quickly, right? I think this is my final question. Now, we talk about buying and selling.
Hmm.
How is that going to happen when we don't even have easily accessible, or it's not easy to access funds online?
Mm.
Sorry, as it stands right now, we do not have easy access to PayPal. We have to work our way around. In terms of like e-commerce, how is that going to work out for us? Is it that the larger companies or maybe the government would be the ones to stand to benefit first and best, and then we would have to like just tag along and try to figure out on our own? How do you think that is going to work in terms of payment?
Yeah, that's a very, very good point, and that could open up a whole other discussion, a whole other kind of worms. In
Mm,
addition to the internet being such a core part of this, digital payments is a very big part of this, and this is why sometimes, or a lot of the times, if you listen to Mark Zuckerberg, for example, talking about the metaverse, the topic of cryptocurrencies often comes up because um, right now it doesn't necessarily, as I said, there's no strict definition or agreed upon definition for the metaverse right now, but the right now the future that people see is that cryptocurrencies go hand in hand with the metaverse. So you pay digitally, of course it would make sense in these world for experiences with your wallets, but it's necessary to have some form of digital payment. It doesn't have to be decentralized cryptocurrency. For example, we have Dcash. I'm not sure if there has been discussions already with Dcash and VIncy Mas in the metaverse. That could also be a very, very interesting discussion that could kind of help people in at least the EC region to maybe transfer and pay for drinks on the side of the road, the virtual road, pay for their costumes as well. But digital currency is really going to be a big part of it, and education as well.
mhm. Sounds like it's gonna take a lot of effort and a lot of work from the government side to try to reel everybody in on this. I hope that as many people as possible can benefit from it, because this is the future and this is where we're heading. All right.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yes,
unfortunately, we
I
have to
think.
wrap up now. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
Oh,
ahead.
no, I was
Mhm.
just gonna close by saying that the world right now, the cryptocurrency world, for example, the NFT space and so forth, is full of opportunities right now. There's a lot of hype. There's also a lot of money floating around. I personally know Caribbean people who, for example, have sold music and made like $500,000 selling their music. And so, as Caribbean people, we really need to make sure that we are paying attention to this space. You know, go with an open mind, try to learn as much as possible, and try to educate yourself and stay safe, because a lot of the times we as Caribbean people are the ones that are left behind with these things. And digital is such a good space in that we don't need a lot. Like I said, we need stable internet, we need devices to access these things, but that's it. So it's kind of an equal playing field. So we're in a really good position to kind of change the economy, change how we earn, if we
Mhm.
really pay attention to this space. I've done some investments. It's not financial advice, but I would advise you to go out there and see, what's out there for you.
All right. Software engineer Miss Janique-ka John joined us this morning. Thank you so much for taking the time out. It's still lunchtime where you are.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat now.
Okay. All right. Have a wonderful day. We'll connect after. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Right. Not a problem. Not a problem.